Let's talk about a highly contested exercise, which is the single arm dumbbell row, also called the 3-point row. So there's a lot of different ways to butcher this exercise, but there's also a lot of different ways you can do it correctly. There's not one right way of doing it. And it's going to be dependent on what it is you're trying to accomplish from the exercise. So I'm going to go through the way that I like doing it, but then also explain other ways you can do it that'll also be fine. So Dan's going to come down to kind of get into position. He's not even going to grab the dumbbell yet, and I'm going to walk through a couple of things. So a couple of things that are done incorrectly first with the exercise is a lot of people, when they're doing the dumbbell row, they'll rotate their body down and up like this. So what happens here is that a lot of spine rotation and momentum is lifting the dumbbell up, and the lats and rhomboids are not quite as active. So what you want to do is that you want to fix your rib cage here, and the movement you want happening at the level of the shoulder blade. So now what I'm going to have Dan do is I'm going to have him flatten out his back and set his shoulder back here. So here his shoulder blade's already set. Now, the way that I like doing it is that he's going to grab the dumbbell, elbow's going to stay tight to the rib cage, he's going to pull up, and he's going to be squeezing through the lats and through the upper middle back here without rotating his chest open. So he's going to keep the chest down and be pulling the shoulder blade back just like that. Okay, go ahead and grab the dumbbell and go through a couple of reps. Yeah, that's perfect. Swing around to the side here so you can see. What you're going to notice is that Dan is finishing his upper arm horizontally, parallel with the ground. That's perfect. You don't need to go up any higher than that. You'll be able to get a maximum engagement of your lat and your upper middle back while doing that. Good. So now let's talk about a couple other variations of the row that's perfectly fine to do depending on what your goal is. So actually I'm going to switch out Dan here, and I'm going to demonstrate a few other variations. So if you're doing the exercise for rehabilitation of the neck or shoulder, one of the things that you don't want to be doing is that you don't want to go through full protraction or reaching and you don't want to go through this full range of motion here. The reason why is because if you have a really tight neck, you dropping your arm like this is only going to aggravate your neck. So in rehab, what you want to do is that you want to set the shoulder back and keep it set through the entire range of motion, just focusing on stabilizing the shoulder joint through scapular retraction. Now, if you're focusing on bodybuilding or like anything where you don't have neck or shoulder dysfunction, I prefer to actually still go through that full range of motion. So what you're going to be doing here, if you're like a bodybuilding or like you have no neck dysfunction, is dropping the shoulder blade down without dropping the torso. So just dropping the shoulder blade down and then retracting it as you pull up. No rotation of the torso, just the shoulder blade that's sliding around the rib cage. That way what's happening is that the shoulder blade is going through its full range of motion, and you're able to train the rhomboids a lot better. Third and final point is elbow position on your body. So Jesse, now I want you to just come from the top here to see my elbow position. My preference is to go elbow tight to the body. That's going to have a lot of lat activation. However, you can also do the exercise where you come out to the side. You won't be able to lift up as much weight, but when you lift your arm out to the side, you're going to activate more rear delts and rhomboids and remove a lot of your lat activation. I know it's a lot of info, but it's going to completely cover the single arm dumbbell row, one of the best back exercises to be doing. Try that out.